Hi guys. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can see me. That would be nice. We've new cameras, new computer because the old computer could not manage the software. Just couldn't do it. So we had to buy a small computer just to run these cameras. So then he uploads all his new software. We are ready to go. He clicks go live and nothing. Crickets. So here we are. So we finally got us up and running. So thank you so much for your patience. It was something changed in the software from the last time we used it. So here we are. So whatever. Hi. It's been a week. It has been a week. It's been a weird week with weather and hot and yeah, it's just been ew. So now we're back to our normal, comfortable 20 to 25 degrees, and everybody can breathe and everybody can work and nobody's dying in the heat. So I've been looking forward to today to try out these new cameras and to play in some paint because I really haven't had much time to do that this week. It's been a really busy week. And so we're going to paint honey and lemon today. I paint a lot of teacups. It suddenly dawned on me the other day when I was unpacking a bunch of finished surfaces that, good Lord, I paint a lot of teacups. But I didn't have the original piece to honey and lemon. So I sat down last night and painted another one. And then a box arrived yesterday afternoon and I opened it, and what is on the very top of the box but the original. So now I have two honey and lemons on my tabletop. So we are going to paint honey and lemon. I like this piece. It's a little bit different. It's got a pink rose and slice of lemon, and it's just a fun one, and it's got a nifty background. On the new one that I painted, I played with Stencil in the background, and I really, really liked it. So I'm going to add that into this one today, just for fun. And I think that's about it. You got any news there, Bucko?
I've lost more hair.
You've lost more hair.
Yes, after that.
Did you lose it or just pull it out?
I think I pulled it out.
Oh, wow. I can see myself on the other computer. Ew.
Yeah.
Nasty. Washed right out.
Yeah.
I need to get some sun. That's probably what that glare is.
It is very. I have to fiddle with cameras.
He's got to fiddle with cameras. But, yeah.
I'm also going to boost your audio.
Oh, my audio is lagging too.
Not lagging, just quiet.
So, yeah. So we're going to have a little bit of fun today. We do have some great giveaways today. We've got a set of my shape makers to give away. We have a nice little brush set, and we have a set of pens to give away this time around too. So we've got three little giveaways for today, and Renee is going to pick names as we go throughout the day. What happened?
I don't know.
What else? Was it a good thing or a bad
I
thing?
don't know.
Did we lose the camera?
It's entirely possible.
Uh-oh. It appears we still have a feed.
Yeah, well, I also have it on a 10-second delay. So.
Oh, okay. Hopefully it doesn't disappear.
Yeah,
So-
I can't hear Renee, and Tracy's really soft.
I'm really soft. Okay.
Give me 1 second.
He's still messing with cameras and software.
Oh, the cameras are fine.
Cameras are fine.
good.
Yep. So this is the today. The thing about this one is that it's really easy to adapt to a different surface. Whether you're going to enlarge it or reduce it or what have you, it adapts really nicely to a different surface. So if you don't have, the perfect little tag, if you've got something that is close to that size, this was the original. I think this one was from Bear With Us, this little tag here. And it looks really great on that. But I had these simple little wooden tags, and they work just fine for this. So we're going to get started. We're going to tackle honey and lemon, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun doing it. So if you guys are ready to get started, so am I. sooner or later. Am I going to get a down camera?
Yeah, you are gonna get it done. Gotta move.
Ah.
Ta-da. There you go.
It is going to be a day. So,
Make sure it's straight.
so this is actually a really, as I said, a really easy pattern to customize to a variety of surfaces because it doesn't rely heavily on the surface as part of the overall design. So it you can put it on whatever you happen to have on hand. Now, the original tag, I think, is, well, let's find out exactly what it is. So it is a 5 by 9. And I think it actually suits that surface quite nicely. But I translated and put it over onto one of Sheila Landry's little trays, that cookie tray that I like so much, that I use so often. And it looks really great on that too. So, and it adapted perfectly inside that surface. So I thought, well, then it should work just fine on one of these, and it does. It actually gives you about ½ an inch, so it's roughly the same size as that tray. So it worked really, really well. So to start on the background for this, it's really, really simple.
You can bring it closer to you.
I can. So I'm starting with some warm white, and I know you're shocked by that. I use this so often. I put a base coat of lamp black on that surface, and I'm just going to put a rough coat of the warm white on here. I'm using my fugly brush.
There we go.
I just like the texture this creates. That's the biggest reason I use it, is because I really like how it comes across. Oh, and speaking of fugly brushes, somebody's going to win one today.
Somebody's getting a fugly brush?
Somebody's getting an ugly brush. All shiny and new. It's not as fugly as it could be, but fugly brushes are wonderful. So one of you is going to win this 3/4 inch encaustic oval, which I lovingly refer to as my fugly brush. So somebody is going to get one of those in their mail this week.
So quiet. I need your battery back.
What's wrong with my battery pack? I don't think there's anything. It looked like it had a full charge. Okay. Is that better?
There we go.
Apparently I had to turn my volume up. No one has ever said that to me before. It's usually quite the opposite. So I'm not looking for a fully opaque base coat. I just want, lots of variation and a little bit of visual texture back there. So I think that will do rather nicely. Now I have one, I was just putting my line drawing on. So we're going to tackle the background texture in this. I've got a honeycomb stencil here somewhere. I think it's on Renee's desk right now. No, it isn't. It's on mine. Ah, there it is. Thank you.
Yeah. Now they can hear you. The volume was low on the microphone thing.
There we go. It's not very light on there.
Some more light.
We get some more light on there. I'm not real. Whew, there we go.
More lighting. Better lighting. And the camera automatically adjusts.
Can't win for losing in this one.
Yeah.
Cameras are adjusting.
Can we order fugly brushes from you?
No, but you can get them from the Brush Guys, and I have a coupon code for you for that It
Oh,
is
no. What?
Tracy M.
Oh, you turned it sideways.
I did. Oh, sorry, I scared him, gals. Yeah, if you're ordering brushes, if you want to order a Fugly brush, the brush guys have them. And if you use the coupon code Tracy M, capital T, or Racy, and capital M, you'll get an extra discount on that.
That looks really good.
That'll look half bad. Nice and clear.
Nice and clear.
I have pretty nails again.
Pretty nails.
My hands looked like feet earlier this week. So I'm digging out my, you know what I'm going to say, my vintage note and my grunge stamps. I love my grunge set. I use that one so much. Here's a pretty curly Q one in here I like. And that canceled postage stamp.
Oh, it's going to freak out here in a second.
Why?
Because that gyro. You're shaking the table and the gyro.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm moving things, apparently.
It's all good. This is a learning experience for the both of us.
Yeah, that's the understatement of the century. So, I'm using a stamp pad for that. You can use paint. I'm going to use a stamp pad today. Ordinarily, I use my brayer and a little bit of acrylic paint. Kind of feeling the stamp pad thing today. So, I'm going to, I like my grunge stamp. My grunge set's one of my faves. I don't really worry about it being perfect. I'm just sort of wanting to create a little background texture in there. And not a ton of it. I don't want, oodles and oodles of it everywhere. So just a little bit of that lettering, that script. I do love this stamp, this vintage note. Should have some more coming this week. We run out of them pretty quickly. So I think that's enough. I was going to put a swirly in there, but I want to do something different. This is a set we got in. I really love this one. I like this this little bee one. What is this one called? Honeycomb Wishes. I'm kind of obsessed with the honeycomb thing. So I have been playing with this one for the last few days. It also has a great little bumblebee in it, which is really cute. This little bumblebee is adorable. So I'm going to rub my stamp pad onto that stamp, like so. And I want to put some of this honeycomb in so that it fills the gaps on this surface a little bit. Doesn't matter if it's perfect. I kind of like it if it's not, because it's just creating a little bit of background texture in there. And it creates a little more interest on this surface.
Well, when we're maxed out on the volume here, so I don't know if it's your end or what's going on, but that's as loud as I can go.
Then there's the other thing. Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
So I really like this Honeycomb Wishes stamp. It's really pretty. And it's fun. You can sort of blot stuff in wherever you want.
Ow. My nipple. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, I turned it on too. Oops.
So,
Hello.
no, you can hear his dulcet tones. So I think that's enough as far as the stamping is concerned. I rather like that. I use that little canceled, I don't know what my obsession with these little canceled stamp or cancellation stamps are, but I have to have them. I have one in a stencil, and I found 3 more in the Iron Orchid design stamps, and of course I had to have those too. So, but this one is just such a cute set. And I really like the texture of that that honeycomb. It's quite nice, and it works really well on this type of background. And then it's got this really cute little bee in it, and then lots of, you know, cute little bee related quotes in there too. It's a fun little set. And there's I don't know how many of those we have left. We've got a few. It's a great little set. It's fun to play with, and it's versatile because I end up using it quite a bit.
Apparently, you're still too quiet.
I am too quiet. What did I do?
I don't know.
Like I said, nobody's ever told me I'm too quiet.
Maybe you have it closer.
How's that?
Because you're maxed out.
I'm maxed out as far as sound goes.
There you go. Unless you're talking into my microphone.
No, I'm not. I'm talking into mine. Interesting.
That camera likes to flicker.
It does. So I got thinking about honeycomb and then dug out my honeycomb stencil. I love this one. So I'll put that down there.
Can hear Tracy but not Renee. Oh, you can hear me but not Tracy. Okay. I have
How's mine?
yeah.
Well, it's
You got to bring your microphone closer to your mouth.
already sitting under one double chin. I don't know how much closer I can get. There. How's that?
That's better. You have to enunciate to the back row.
So I need to add some color to this first. Now, the two colors that I used were diarrhea yellow and primary magenta in the fluid acrylic. But I know it is difficult to get your hands on some of these fluid acrylics right now. So your colors can be a little bit of Tuscan red and a little bit of saffron yellow. Hello, look at that. We have a palette cam.
Yep.
So saffron yellow if you're working with the fluid acrylic, and a little bit of primary magenta or a little Tuscan red. I'm going to grab a nice big angled brush. I need some juice. I like my fast dry glaze. Jar. But you can do this with water. You don't have to use the glaze if you don't have it. I'm going to start with a little of that diarrhea yellow. It's a strong color. So I'm going to pop a little up into that upper corner. Woohoo!
I don't know if you want it on that side or...
Fine where it is.
And away you go.
So that diarrhea is such a in-your-face yellow. But it's super transparent, so you can lay it right over top of those stamps. It's not a big deal. And I'm going to pick up a little more of that glaze or water. I'm just going to let that color run out a little bit. Just like that. And I'm going to repeat that with a little primary magenta. It's such a in-your-face pink. I like that there's no real rhyme or reason or rule to putting this color on. Wherever it overlaps the that gives it some heat. You can let that color run out so that you get sort of a light, transparent pink tone. If you want the color stronger, go for it. Put more on. How strong you make it is entirely up to you. For this one, I tend to lean towards being a little more generous with the yellow. I don't know why, just not a color that I'm particularly fond of, but looks really good with this one.
I give you access to chat.
Yay! So now I can see all the comments you guys are making. If I sound muffled, it might be because the allergies are acting up. But sounds fine. Okay, there we go. Camera sucks. Haven't had that kind of flickering since the 60s. It's the actually the software. It keeps trying to color correct the.
It's the camera.
Is it?
Yeah, it's got a gyro in it.
Oh. So every time I bump the table, it's. We're gonna figure out a way to get that working right.
Give me a second.
And you know I'm going to put some asphaltum in this, so.
Excuse me.
Certainly. So I like these sort of mishmash backgrounds. They're soft. You can make them as strong or as weak as you like. There's no real harsh rule to it.
Crackling in the volume. Still bad sound? Whoa! Holy flicker, Batman.
Good grief. So, I just like overlaying a little bit of that pink right over, so it goes over that yellow. I like the orange that it creates. But I think that's enough. I don't really worry too much about getting a lot of color towards the center, simply because we have a line drawing that's going in the center of this one. So I'm going to dry really quick. And these do dry very quickly, so a little help from this handy dandy little heat it tool. Love this thing. I know, I say that every week, but every week I love it a little more. Comes in very handy. There. So it only mufflers when I move.
No sound? Not that.
Oh, we know there's sound. Sound is okay, Julie Crosby says.
Some people have it, some people don't. So it's definitely not our end.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have my microphone on.
He took off his microphone. That might explain it. It might.
I just turned it off again.
He's a doofus today. So this wasn't in the original pattern. Doing this bit with the stencil, but I really like this honeycomb stencil, and I felt it needed something. So I went in, dug around in my paint bin until I found some Sunny Day, because I wanted a brighter yellow. Okay, maybe not brighter. A whiter yellow. I think that's the word I was looking for. So I'm using Sunny Day for this. If you're looking for it, the Decor number is DA325. It's a great color. I use that, probably my favorite yellow, next to saffron and diarylide. It's a nice pale yellow. So I'm going to stencil. I don't want these perfect. I want them a little on the transparent side. I also don't want to make them too complete. I kind of want them to disappear a little bit so that we still see that color in there.
Could it be the microphone? No, they're both set to the exact same. I just have a more. I have a louder voice.
Yes, he does. He's more obnoxious than I am too, so.
I don't know about that.
You get it from somewhere, kiddo. So I'm taking a little bit of orange flame because I like this orange. And I'm putting just a little blush of that color in a few places on this honeycomb. Just because I just like how it looks. And then I'm going to move it to another spot. Now I'm not really worried about covering anything up or filling in any space because I don't know, I'm just creating a little bit of pattern back there. So, and I kind of like that it's repeating an existing pattern because we have a honeycomb in this and we're essentially just repeating that pattern. So I'm going to...
Oh, Mandy Carter just subscribed.
Put little... What was that?
Mandy Carter just subscribed.
Uh-oh. In for a penny, in for a pound, Mandy. Welcome. So I really like how this looks. Now you could use any size. I used the 1 inch or the 3/4 inch honeycomb for this, but I mean you could use the little tiny one if you wanted to. This is one of the nice things about doing this type of background is that you're not married to always doing one thing. You can do something a little bit different and it's okay. There we go. I like it. What's up? You're putting your microphone on me?
Yep.
And you're taking my microphone and putting it on you. Let's see. There we go.
Let's see if it's the equipment.
Hopefully that's better. Yes, no, maybe, perhaps. So you can continue that honeycomb pattern.
It's the same levels.
Same levels. It is possibly YouTube.
Yeah.
I know Sandy had a heck of a time last week with it.
She was using Switcher too.
And she was using Switcher, so there is my background. I really like this. With that little bit of honeycomb stencil in there, it just adds a little more of the bee theme to it without being overwhelming. And it just creates a little bit more pattern. So we're going to do the edges of this before we transfer on our line drawing. And I'm going to do that with a stamp pad.
Okay, something going on with this one then.
I like using a stamp pad to age edges because I can control it and I can make it a little bit or I can make it a lot. And it's simple. I can just rub along the edges with it. The nice part is if you get one of these that is almost had the biscuit, where it's just, running out of ink, you can really go to town and have a lot of fun with it. I don't do it with a brand new one simply because they're very juicy and then you end up with too much ink everywhere. So there are my edges on that one. I'm going to close this up. I'm going to dry that ink really quick. This is a great way to spend a Saturday. I love doing this. Pardon me?
What yellow did you use for the honeycomb?
Oh, for the honeycomb, I used Sunny Day and a little touch of that orange flame, just a tiny bit. So there, I think my ink is dry. So now I need to age this just a tiny bit because it's looking entirely too new for me. So out comes the asphaltum. Got to have some asphaltum. It's my favorite. Love this color. So I'm going to use an angled shader and a little bit of Joe Sonia's for this. This is super easy. So I'm just loading that brush, nice big wide float, and I'm just going to go around the outside edges, right over top of where I put that ink. Doesn't need to be perfect. I just want these edges to look a little bit aged and warm. And I just find that little bit of asphaltum just helps to tone these colors a little bit. Does nice things for that yellow. There we go. Now, I darken the outside edge for a reason, because it leaves this center portion a little bit lighter. And so when I transfer my line drawings on, I've got all that lighter value in the background. If I aged the whole thing, then it might be a little bit too dark. So I'm going to grab my line drawing. Yeah, that's dry enough. Now this actually fits inside this surface really nicely. So I've got about 1/2 inch on either side. And I'm going to give us about 1/2 inch top to bottom, just like so. And I'll tape that into place. Now I have a few little tricks for transferring line drawings. And especially when it has a lot of lettering included in it.
You're so used to working far away from yourself.
I'm working at the top of the screen again.
Yeah.
You're out of the shot. You're out of the shot. Now I try to stay in the shot and I'm out of the shot. Okay. So I know I sound like a broken record when I talk about this, but using one of these steel edge rulers for transferring line drawings, not just for lettering, but for straight lines. Whenever there's a straight line, if you break out that little steel edge ruler, all of your lines are going to be nice and crisp and clean. You can't paint a straight line if the lines you're trying to paint to aren't straight.
I just lost the chat.
Oops.
Oh no! There's no chat room now.
How did you do that?
I don't know. It's still there, but I don't have it on.
Oh, you don't have it on the screen?
I don't have it here.
But I do.
But you do, unless it turned off.
No, I don't think so. Hang on a sec. No, it's still there.
Yeah.
Look at you guys. Holy smokes. Looks crooked at the top. What looks crooked at the top?
Looks crooked on the top. Add a tab? No.
There we go. So I like taking a ruler, anything that's square or straight. Use that steel edge while you're transferring, and you're going to get nice, crisp, clean lines. Same with the bottoms of saucers and edges of teacups and the borders of houses. Things like that. Anything that in nature or in reality would be straight, then use a ruler for it. I generally use a ruler when I'm drawing them, so why wouldn't I use one when I'm tracing them? So, and I never use a stylus, I know. I use these Uniball Signos because they are nice and fine, for one thing. They have a stainless steel ball, so I get a nice crisp, thin line. I don't end up with, really thick graphite lines that I have to erase. I do like that. And you can get these in a variety of colors. I actually have white ones for doing mixed media. But the thing I love about these the most is that fine line, getting my line drawings traced with a nice fine line instead of those thick ones that I would get with a stylus. I never liked working with a stylus, so this is why. So that while I'm tracing, I get nice thin lines. And accuracy. Transferring your line drawings are more accurate because you're working with a smaller, finer point.
Okay. I'll remember that for next time.
What's that?
Oh, I had one audio track selected.
Oh, okay.
So it was competing against me and you all the time.
So now we know.
So for the next one, I'll set it up.
Learning curve. Yeah, we bought a little computer, little laptop to run the cameras and the software because the old computer that we were using just simply couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So that was why we had so many issues the last time. And this time it's just user error.
Well, most of it, yeah.
So, but it is new to us. So we're
Where is Bob?
we're trying to. Bob is hiding.
Why'd you hide Bob?
I didn't hide Bob. Bob hid. There's a difference. I don't think he wants to come out to play today. He's right here.
So many surfaces laying around right now.
Bob is right here hiding.
Oh.
Poor Bob. There. Now he's hiding again.
Yeah, behind the...
There. Honestly. So we're not cooking this weekend. Husband is taking us for dinner tonight. Or having it delivered. I'm not sure which, but we're picking up. Yeah.
It's either Rocket Burger...
Taste of Beijing, and there was an Italian place, but I'm not keen on the Italian place. But
I'm down for Chinese or Rocket Burger. I gotta be down there tomorrow afternoon anyway, so I could get Rocket Burger on Sunday.
So, even when I'm tracing lettering, you'll find anytime you have vertical or horizontal lines, use that ruler. You're going to get much nicer lettering. It'll give you a nice, crisp, clean edge. And it's so much easier to paint line. So just like that. So top and bottom, just keep those lines straight. Even, lettering like this one that isn't all that perfect, doesn't need to be all that perfect. It's still, that horizontal and vertical lines are so important when it comes to lettering. You don't want your lettering going uphill. So, and you don't want it wonky. So out comes that old ruler. You know what? It's an inexpensive investment too. I mean, they're, a couple of bucks.
Oh, there's your troublemaker.
Deb?
Deb.
Him is Deb.
I'm pretty sure I saw Sheila in there too.
Yeah, Sheila was there.
And Linda Franco and Jessica Gillerin, of course. They're here.
Yeah. I think Julie Crosby is on too. Gotta tell you, you guys are just freaking amazing. It's such a great response to the membership group, to the paid membership group. And I know that Sheila's been a busy bee getting surfaces done and mailed. So you guys will be ready for the class on the 29th. It's going to be so much fun.
You're going to have a house totally full of tech equipment by the time you get everything the way you want it.
I got to tell you, our house is already full of tech equipment.
Yeah.
Because everyone in this house, there's 4 adults living in this house, and we all have our own computers.
2 of them hand-built.
Yeah, two of them hand built. My daughter's got a laptop. My husband has a desktop. Renee's got a desktop. I have 2 iMacs here in the studio, an iPad Pro, an iPad Mini, an iPhone, and now we've got a new laptop.
Oh,
So,
and a Chromebook.
and the Chromebook, yes. So we're just loaded for bear in here. We have lots of tech. No, the biggest problem is just getting it all to work together. That's the problem. And then
Getting them to behave with each other.
yeah, making them play nice in the sandbox, that's always where the effort is. So it eventually will all come out in the wash.
Stream looks really good. It's very nice quality.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, video quality looks good. That's those new cameras and that lighting.
We got the...
Now if I can just, I think we're going to have to get a tripod or something for that camera.
Yeah, it's...
Because I keep bumping the table, and that's why things started flickering, is because the camera has a gyro in it, so it's
it'll automatically
doesn't
correct
like it when I move.
It doesn't like it when I touch it.
I'm not touching that.
Funny.
So I find that doing it this way, using that ruler, also speeds up the process because you tend to relax a little bit and not worry about whether or not you're tracing that line perfectly. And it does make a difference in the quality of the painting when you're finished. All those little bobbly bits going into those little rounded corners, those are fine. I don't worry too much about those. But those vertical and horizontal lines, if they are crooked, they stand out like a sore thumb.
Do you guys sit in different rooms and talk to each other on computers? Funny story. That's how... you should tell them about how Dad orders food.
Yes. We have a funny... My husband communicates with me via Facebook. So, even Deb's noticed this. My husband orders dinner online from me. So, he'll get on Facebook and he will find some recipe or whatever that somebody has posted, and he will share it and send it to my page. And there's usually some silly little remark about, hint, hint, or what have you. But yes, my husband orders food online by sending it to my page so that I know what to make for dinner. And I'm always telling him to send me suggestions, give me ideas of what they would like to eat because they get bored. So he started doing that. So my friend said, Chuck's ordering in again. So I got little bees. See, the necessity of having to trace this on after I do all that color. So I think I've got everything. I'm just going to do a quick check here. Nope, missed a spot. Right there. I missed that. What else did I miss? I probably missed a whole bunch of things. Because it's that kind of a day. Seems to be anyway. No. I got it. My graphite is not really great, so it's not transferring all that well. It is, but it's very light. So let's have another look. See how it did. Oops, missed a spot up here too. Good grief. You ever have one of those days? I'm having one. There we go. Another quick check. And I forgot that horizontal line across the bottom of the teacup right here. That starts and stops right there. And I think we should be good. Yep, I think so. I'm just going to press it in a couple of places. There's just the line drawing is really light. There we go. I missed another spot just up there, but that's okay. We'll fix that. So I've got my line drawings on. The first thing I need to do is I need to get some color on that teacup because this is the focal point of our piece. So I need to get some color in there. I'm going to use a nice little round brush and some warm whites. And I'm going to paint that little stripe in here. Warm whites. Now these are really simple roses to paint. The rose that's on this is really an easy one to paint because you're just basing in each petal and then providing some shading for it. And that's pretty much it. It's a very simple rose. It looks more difficult than it actually is, I can promise you. It's not a difficult one to paint. I sound like Gravel Gertie today. Allergies or something is giving me the gears. We can't even talk about food because we're going out to dinner unless, I don't know, House of Beijing, I think is what it will end up with. And that's all good. There's not too many options for Chinese food here, or Asian cuisine for that matter. So, there. And that warm white goes on this tag right here.
Minimize that. Open this. Whoa!
Now the fun part about this particular piece, painting this one, is that it is very forgiving. We don't have to worry about having 4 or 5 coats paint on. That's not really an issue. So we can do things in 1 coat, which is nice. Or you can do 2 because you just laid your fingers in it like I did. Honest to Pete.
Sound is still not as loud as it should be. Well, everything's maxed out. So I can't that sounds like a YouTube problem.
It could be.
Ooh.
There we go. And I'm going to paint the handle white. Methinks. It's been such a strange week around here. Renee has been running security down one of the historic sites in town this week, so he hasn't been around. And my husband's been out running the roads on a great big tandem dump truck this week to a construction site, so he's been busy, and my daughter's been working, so I've been here in the studio by myself, and that has not happened much in the last 18 months. So I kind of lost my bearings this week. I just didn't know what to do with myself. There was always somebody here, and all of a sudden it was just me and the dog and 2 cats.
You're complaining?
Well, yes, I am. I am complaining. So it, you know, I had to take the dog out for a walk, and so that is not part of my normal routine, and so my whole week has kind of been upside down because my routine has been messed with. And so I can honestly say I have not adapted well. I don't like change. No. Actually, I do like change, but it was just, you know, something I had no time to prepare for. So now the rest of this teacup gets painted with the lamp black. And this is where those straight lines is going to help you.
Brenda Owen.
Hi,
Sad-
Brenda.
Sadly, will not be able to make it to the June 29th members only class.
Yep.
Good news, it will be recorded, and you will have access to that video indefinitely.
Yeah.
As long as you're a member.
As long as you're a member, you'll have access to it.
So. And we're still trying to sort out Deb Antonik's paintbrush. Get that paintbrush next door name.
So, now the fun part about doing this type of artwork is that you're really not relegated to having to make everything perfect. It kind of just happens. Getting those clean lines, it's so much easier to paint a straight line when the line you're working to is nice and straight. So much easier, as you can see.
We have a fantastic Thai restaurant here. Ooh, that's from Linda Morgan. Where does Linda Morgan live? I like Thai food.
As long as it doesn't have coconut milk or peanuts in it, I'm happy.
What's wrong with my brush? You don't have one next to your name there, Deb.
Yeah, she's supposed to. She's...
You're a moderator. You should have one just like Jessica. You get a wrench and a paintbrush.
Yep.
And the first month is almost up, so people's paintbrushes are going to be changing soon.
Yeah.
You're going to be seeing some different colored paintbrushes. And we had... What is this? Oh.
What is that?
Mariana Pickett. Subscribed.
Nice. Welcome, Mariana. So this week I got the skull bags in. The big shopping bags, the paintable shopping bags. And somebody asked if I would teach how to paint one. So now I'm going to have to paint one. So those bags are flippin' amazing. They're huge for one thing. They're nice big shopping bag. They're 16 inches square. Nice and deep, and they're made out of a really tough nylon. And the first time I ordered them, I didn't realize that you could have them printed on both sides. So I only had them printed on one side, and for whatever reason, the photo that I used had my website on it, and it printed the website right across the back of the bag, which didn't look too bad, but it was on this, with the side with the line drawing. I didn't like that. So the next time I ordered some, I checked to see if I could do it. Well, it turns out that I can print both sides of the bag. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the cost of them at all. So now they're printed on both sides, and only one side has the website on it. So I kind of like them. And they're fun. And the bird one is my favorite. I love that one.
Deb Antonik, they owe you your own special paintbrush. I expect nothing less.
So I've got my teacup painted. I'm going to dry this real fast because I really like this part, doing the teacup. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. I'm using a 1/8 polka dot. If you wanted to, you could use a check. I mean, you could use whatever you want as far as pattern goes. So however you want to customize that teacup is entirely up to you. But I'm using this one. It is a 1/8 polka dot. And I'm using warm white. Now, I don't want polka dots on this bottom half down here. So I'm going to use a little bit of tape to cover that up, if I can find my tape.
Well, somebody lost their internet temporarily.
Oh, hopefully it wasn't us.
No, it wasn't us. It was Beth Root.
Oh,
Lost her internet for a short period.
I know some places in the southern part of the state's been having some storms, so hopefully you guys are all safe.
I would love a tote bag with a deer skull on it.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
A deer skull?
Yeah, that would be cool. So I'm just positioning. I'm moving this around so that I get the most polka dots on the black, because I'm really kind of partial to polka dots. There we go. So I'm going to grab a small stencil brush. I'm just using a little, this one's a 3/8 or 1/4 inch. Either one will work just fine. And I'm going to go into my warm white, swirl it around, blot a little. And I'm just lightly putting color on. I don't want these to be fully opaque, hard white dots. I just want them to...
Can't send a message of all of a sudden?
Methinks that YouTube is having some issues today.
It could be our settings.
So...
Give me a second. I gotta go to studio.
There we go. So I'm just going to check that quickly. Yeah, baby. I love that. I have this thing about polka dots on black teacups. So now, of course, acrylic tips can't get the tape off. Hello. Good gravy, Marie.
Apparently we have 3 live streams ready to go.
Oh, yeah? Well, one's enough.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So I've got my stenciling in place. And I'm thinking I'm going to put another coat of white on my tag here before I start. Ta-da! There we go. So dry all that white. Such a pretty combination, you know, using a black with all of this color in the background. And then when we do that lettering, you're going to see a real pop. There we go.
Renee, when the debit cards come up for renewal, how do we keep our membership going? That I have no idea. If you used a debit card, then it should still be a reoccurring payment.
Yep.
It'll take like, I think 48 hours for it to leave your account and take effect. Not 100% sure on there, but that's, if YouTube accepts it, they have their own policies.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't affect your membership until payment is either declined or accepted.
Yeah. And if you get a new one, it usually comes in before the other one expires, so you should be able to just go in and change that.
Yeah. YouTube is much more stable than Facebook in the UK. Facebook keeps seizing up all the time. Yep, because Facebook doesn't have servers in the UK.
Yeah. We had issues with that.
Yeah.
So, uh-oh, we have a delivery boy. Oh my goodness. Talk about service. Wow. Thank you.
What is it?
Frappuccino.
A frappuccino?
No, it's an ice cap.
Ice
It's an
cap.
ice cap.
Same thing. Hubby went to Timmy's.
Yay, more caffeine.
They're upstairs.
There's Timbits upstairs?
Uh-oh, we just lost Renee.
Oh.
How's that for service? My husband brought me a cappuccino, frozen frappuccino. Not frappuccino. What do you say
Ice
it was?
cap.
Ice cap. So it's an ice cap is a frozen frappuccino.
It's a
a
coffee
cappuccino.
Slurpee.
It's a coffee Slurpee. Oh my
I am
gosh.
on the wrong computer. What's going on here?
Ooh.
There we go. Let's open this one.
Oh my, that's good. Oh my. Mm. Talk about service today. So I've got my cup is all base coated. I've got it stenciled. I want to shade this a little bit. So I'm going to grab, what kind of brush am I going to use for this one? I've got a little 3/8 angle here. And I'm going to use a little asphaltum.
Okay. There's 102 people watching and only 58 likes.
How are they going to win prizes if they don't like it? So I'm using just a little bit of asphaltum to shade under where those flowers are going to be. I'm just using a weak float of asphaltum. And we have way too many cups on this table. And then he
Well,
brought
you
me
got your
coffee.
teacup.
I have a teacup. I don't have my water cup with me though,
Oh.
but I do have an ice cap. And it's very yummy.
Wow, he's doing very well today. Delivery and getting supper too. Brownie points.
Can we sign up for that service? Question mark?
Oh, the delivery service.
Oh.
I don't know if it's available in your area. So I like shading the bottom and top because we want this to look a little bit aged. And I really do like it to sort of run out. So it's a little dark top and bottom. And I'm going to shade the underside of this handle as well. Now, for those of you that have the pattern, you're going to notice that there's two different line drawings in there. There's this one. It has a slightly different teacup in it. It's one of those things. I sat down, painted it, really liked it, but thought it would be cute with a different teacup, so I repainted it and did it with a different teacup, and then that's why you get two line drawings, because I couldn't make up my mind. I was a flat squirrel.
Tea or coffee cups are in danger of getting brushes
Dipped in them in my workspace.
Always. There's a reason why you have these. I've done that. Just-
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Drop my brush into my coffee cup or your teacup. Oh, yeah. There's not a painter out there worth her salt that hasn't done that. So I'm going to shade around this floral while I have that asphaltum out, because I want to define that shape, but I also want to lift this design off the surface. So I'm going to float in and around my teacup with a little bit of asphaltum. Like so.
If people watch in full screen, they don't see the comments. Renee has to say, hit the thumbs up. Oh, okay.
So this is a quick and easy way to make this line drawing stand out a bit. I know it's difficult for you guys to see it on that on the screen. So I'm just accentuating a little bit.
I'm trying to figure out how to zoom in.
And then I'm going to do the same thing, go around the floral as well.
Pretty sure there's camera control. What? I can mess with the focus.
Great.
Everybody gets a blurry video.
We don't want blurry. We want clear.
But apparently, oh, there is a zoom function.
There we go. Look at that, guys.
Oh, it's a digital zoom. 400%. It didn't do too much.
Yeah, see, he has software he can play with. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending. So that little bit of asphaltum
There we go. We'll do that.
sort of...
I'll leave it at that zoom. Sorry. Another job, Renee?
Oh, like he needs another one. So I'm just shading around my line drawing because I want to pull that floral forward a little bit. So I'm going to do that with just a little shading. And it doesn't need to be too strong. And that same shading you can do to the lettering. So inside that lettering to the right on the background.
Mary Lou Harris. I got lost in the YouTube land this morning. Oh yeah, there's rabbit holes.
Yep, there's rabbit holes, all right.
Sometimes they're bad rabbit holes. Sometimes they're entertaining rabbit holes.
Sometimes they're downright scary.
Renee loves his tech toys.
Oh, you know what? He's
I
very
do.
much a techie.
I like learning how things work.
Yes. Kind of like his grandfather gave him a toolbox.
This story. How did I knew this was coming?
Well, because you brought it up.
Yeah, true.
He's always been that kid that likes to take things apart, put things together. You know, he liked to figure out how things worked.
Yeah, you can bring the piece closer to you.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Anyway, one Christmas, my father, his grandfather, gave him a tool set. And he absolutely loved it, thought it was the best thing since cookies. Unfortunately, he discovered that all of the screwdrivers that were provided inside of said toolbox fit every single screw on my coffee table in the family room. And he took it completely apart.
Yep.
So we could not leave this child unsupervised with the toolbox because he would dismantle things and then attempt to put them back together. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So it just meant that he had to be supervised, but yes, he frequently took things apart. And the same can be said for computers, because I don't think I can remember a time that we did not have a computer in our home.
Yeah, Amiga 2400, the Commodore 64. We had a compact Presario XPS 3200.
Yep. See what I mean? Yes, he has always
A few Dells.
Dells. Yeah, we had a few of them.
And
So-
I think it was in 2006 I built my first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I built another one in 2008. And I actually still use the case from 2008's build for my new computer.
So he has built his own computer since he was, 17?
Yeah. I could
17,
have probably built them when I was like 14.
Yeah, I know,
But you were buying pre-builds.
Yeah.
And building a computer wasn't as common then as it is now.
no, that's true. Okay, so I took all that asphaltum and I shaded all of those letters to the right side so that when I base coat these letters, when I fill them all in, we're going to have a nice, crisp, clean, and they'll pop right off that surface. They're going to be really easy to see. So, I've got my cup shaded. I just realized that I forgot to put the
the edge of the cup in. I think I did it with gold on one of them, but it's just a simple little.
He still needs to be supervised.
Oh,
yes, I do. Especially when it comes to taking something apart.
Because he has no problem taking it apart. I can tell you that.
Sometimes I have an issue putting it back together. To answer Linda, who asked? Oh, yes, Linda. How many members do we have now in the membership program? We have 127.
127. And the first challenge, you guys were amazing. I sent that out, put it in the Facebook group, and I put it on in the community section, which we've learned a few things about the community section of YouTube.
Paper straws.
But the first challenge, some of you started posting photos, playing with the values, and then doing the highlighting and shading on that really simple little cabbage rose. Your efforts are amazing, considering that for the most part, most of us have never had, or most painters have never had to learn how to mix paint or how to mix your own values, because we have so many colors available to us. We've never had to. So the efforts that you guys made were incredible. I'm just tickled pink that you jumped at that challenge. I posted the part of the file for your next challenge, which is going to be fun because it's involving the technical aspects of art and design, using the principles. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So you're going to have a small project posted this week, and probably a quick video to explain how to do the challenge. So you'll have that up, and then coming on the 29th, you're going to do your class, which is going to be awesome. I'm so excited about painting those pieces with you guys. They're going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so now
Paper straws, but plastic cups. Just saying. I know. I know.
I know.
The idiocy runs deep.
the redundancy runs deep. Like, why? You go to the trouble of giving us a paper straw.
Yeah,
I think their reasoning is that the straws are dangerous, the plastic ones. The cups are recyclable. Just, I call these things peripherals. All these little peripherals, these little tiny plastic bits, they're the ones that cause the most damage because they're easy to ignore. It's hard to ignore a plastic cup laying in the street, or bobbing on the beach or whatever, but little bits of plastic get missed so easily.
Yeah, paper straw and a plastic wrapper.
Yep. At least this one. Was it in a plastic wrapper? I thought it was in a paper one.
Oh, no, this one's paper.
Okay.
Okay. No, you go to McDonald's, you get a paper straw, but it's in a plastic wrapper.
I don't, just really?
But the plastic straws came in a paper wrapper.
Yeah.
So... Huh?
Yeah. So I'm basing that lemon, the wedges within the lemon, with a little bit of warm white, because they're going to be yellow. And the yellow is going to be really hard to see if I don't put, because we've got so much yellow in the background, if I don't put some white down first.
Is the class a YouTube or Zoom class?
It is a YouTube class, so it will be live.
Yeah, it'll be live, just like this one.
Yep.
And it will be archived for the members.
Yep. So you'll be able to go back and refer to it at any time. The other nice thing is the comments section on that video. You can post a question and I'll see it.
Yep.
So, you're going to have lots of interaction on it. So it'll be an easy one.
And hopefully we'll get this flickering sorted out by then.
We'll get this flickering thing sorted out. I got a feeling I'm going to be buying a tripod this week.
And a boom.
And a boom, yeah.
Actually, no. The boom probably won't need it, but we got to get it off the table.
Yeah.
That's all we
Right
got.
now it's attached to my table. So every time I hit the table,
It shakes,
it shakes.
and then it flickers.
And then it flickers because of the gyro. So I'm just basing the rind of that lemon and the wedges within the lemon with a little bit of warm white. Like comme ça.
Sea life don't have nose. They can't smell.
What's that?
They don't have lungs. Why would they need a nose?
Turtles have noses.
Oh yeah. Turtles do have noses. Right. Oh my god, my brain. Ow.
Some days I worry, son.
Well.
Actually, not some days.
I worry every day. What time will the live class start?
It will be 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
8 o'clock AST.
8 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 7 p.m., by the way.
PM.
PM.
About how many hours is the class?
3.
3-ish? I'm going to be covering 2 projects?
Yep.
Yeah, two of the 3 that's
Yeah.
in that pattern.
Well, the idea is we're going to cover all 3. We're going to finish one big one. So the big one with the lettering. But yeah, we're going to cover all of it. So you can pick and choose whichever surface you want to work with.
Tracy, that brush you're using looks like a liner.
It is not. This one is a zero rigger. It, I know it looks like a liner brush, but it has a square chisel edge like a flat. It does not come to a point like a liner does.
Actually, you can hold it up closer to the camera.
I'm just going to load it up with black here so she can see the chisel edge. So when I tap it flat, it gives me a nice sharp chisel edge. I use these for painting lettering all the time.
4 p.m. PST. I have to leave work early. Oh no. There are some horrible videos of people pulling plastic straws out of some sea turtles' noses.
I know. It's
I
just,
know.
it's terrible. We live on the eastern seaboard. Believe me, we've seen all sorts of stuff wash up on shore.
Mm.
And we've seen how it affects some of the sea life. You know, we found
And I lived in
seagulls.
Winnipeg. I also seen some nasty stuff wash up on shore.
Yeah, the Red River. There, I'm just putting a little bit of black on that border. I forgot about the saucer.
Oh.
This is such a fun piece.
Miss Marshall has joined the membership program.
Yay! Thanks for joining us. We're going to have such a good time. Don't forget to send me a friend request on Facebook, and I will send you an invite to the group, the membership group on Facebook. It is a private group, so you have to be invited, but we do a lot of communication there. You guys can post your pictures of whatever you're painting and whatever you're working on there. You can do all sorts of fun stuff using that. You can also do the same thing on the community section on my YouTube channel. So if you're part of the membership group and you hit that, the community tab at the top of the bar, there you can leave messages in there. You'll also get notifications, so don't forget to hit the notification bell on this as well, so that you get everything you're supposed to get. You should get a notification via email, and that will have your pattern for the 29th attached to it.
Did you see the video of the whale swallowed the lobster fisherman and then spit him back out?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
What?
Yep.
I scuba dive, but not in the UK. Really nasty thing to see, as well as beautiful life. Oh.
There we are. I do like being able to have this thing closer to me. I just keep thinking that I should be pushing it away.
You're so used to
I'm
pushing
so
it.
used to pushing it over there so that the camera picks it up instead of dropping it out of the shot. But so this is the fun part.
You can bring it closer to you.
I know.
After you just
You're killing
talked
me.
about-
So this is the fun part. I've got my lemon base coated, and you're going to do this in 2 floats. This is just like stupid simple. I just tip loaded either a little bit of saffron or, as I'm using, a little bit of diarylide yellow. And I just float each of those wedges towards the rind with that diarylide. It's a very strong yellow, so it pops right in there. So there's our yellow on the lemon. And I'm going to do the same thing on the rind. Just pull that color right across the rind. If you end up burying that, that's okay, because we're going to pop it back in anyhow.
Old-fashioned plan.
Oh, thank you. I got a Timbit. For my friends in the UK, a Timbit is the whole lot of a donut. We call them Timbits because we have this coffee shop here in Canada called Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons. And they make these things called Timbits, which are just the whole lot of the donut. My favorite is the old-fashioned plain. So I'm being pampered today. They brought me a ice cap and they brought me a Timbit. Yummy. So I really like this orange, or this yellow, sorry, for this lemon because of the transparency. So I'm going to dry this real quick, and I'm going to do it again because I want to deepen that yellow towards the edge of the rind. I want it to be really strong. I'm going to switch to a slightly smaller brush. And I'm going to do it again with that diarylide. And it does get a little stronger. I want it darker at that rind edge right there. You see how that white, it didn't go all the way to the point. And if it had, that would be okay, but because we're going to do something with that. I'm going to put a little more of that yellow towards the outside edge because I want it really strong there. Now I want to give this rind a little brightness. Let me rinse all that yellow out of there. And I'm picking up a little bit of warm white to float, and I'm going to start on the inside edge of that rind, and I'm going to float with a little bit of warm white. Just on there. Now I'm floating because I don't want this to be a solid line. I'd like it to have a little bit of a gradient so it doesn't look quite so harsh. As if you look at a lemon, it doesn't just stop. It just sort of fades to white. And I'm going to use my rigger. There's a little spot right here behind this tag that is lemon rind. And I'm going to use the rigger to put that yellow in that tiny little spot. And now I'm going to thin out a little bit of that warm white, a little bit of glaze onto my rigger. And I'm going to put a line right there where it separates these. And now I'm just going to separate all of those little wedges in there. He was gone for 2 minutes, and I bet you he ate half a dozen Timbits.
No. I did not.
So I'm just putting a fine line of that. See, I keep wanting to go that way with it.
Quit slacking and hit the like button.
Who said that?
That was Linda.
Uh-huh.
I see Bob came out to play. Yes, he did, Sheila. Tim Hortons is not to be confused with Tim Holtz.
No. But I can tell you that Tim Holtz has got a lot more money of my money than Tim Hortons did this year.
Linda, I'm not sure if they realize that hitting the thumbs up is how they get entered to win prizes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, shouldn't we be picking one boat now?
I haven't made up my mind yet.
Oh my goodness, that ice cap is so good. So there we have it. Wasn't that hard? So I like to take my rigger or a liner brush, and I like to put just a couple of strokes of white so that it overlaps that yellow a little bit.
Is there a filter on this? There is a filter on
So
this.
there is our lemon slice.
You can bring the project closer to you.
I'm sorry. See, you've been telling me that you're out of the shot, you're out of the shot, you're out of the shot. I no longer have to worry about bringing it close to me, and I keep pushing it out of the shot. There we go.
Hey, if they don't hit the like button, I have more chances to win.
That's a fact. So we're almost there with the teacup. I really like this little lemon slice. I just think they're fun.
Oh, that looks bright.
What
Sorry.
looks bright. So I used a rather unusual color
There you go.
for this rose. It's called blush pink, and it's almost a mauve. It's a very soft pink, a little bit grayed out. I like this color quite a lot. The paint number is DA 355. So if you don't have it and are looking for it, that's how you'll locate it.
29 people are missing out on chances to win a prize because they didn't hit the like button. That is true.
Yep. So when it comes to base coating this rose, there's two ways to do it. Some people will go ahead and base coat the whole shape, that blob, and then transfer the line drawings back on. I absolutely detest tracing on line drawings. It's my least favorite thing. So I base coat and then I paint up to that line, but I leave the line showing. And there's a reason for that. If I can see the line, I don't have to trace it back on. And it leaves a very narrow space between each section of that flower. So every section or every petal of that flower. So that is how. So I just work up to that line so I can still see it. By the time I'm done, you're not going to see them anyway, so it doesn't matter. I just don't like tracing things on a second time. It's bad enough I have to do it the first time. But
Oh, Miss Marshall's got a new puppy.
uh-oh.
Sorry I'm late today. New puppy hated the food I bought him. Had to drive 45 minutes away to find what he was used to.
Oh no. Poor
Disadvantage
puppers.
of living out in the boonies. Yeah. Hard kibble or soft? And how old? I might have a ton of tips for you to get your puppy to eat almost anything. Almost anything.
Almost anything. Those of you that don't know, Renee's actually a dog trainer. Has worked in canine and puppy. He teaches puppy classes and whatnot. So he has quite a bit of experience with working
Puppies.
with puppies,
Especially evil piranha puppies.
piranha puppies, the ones
I
that grow
still
up to
want
be
one.
velociraptors.
Yeah, they go from piranha to velociraptors. Yeah.
Goodness, it's hard to see this.
You're having a hard time seeing it?
I am.
I can see it just fine.
I'm talking about the lines.
I can see the lines as well.
Well, this camera is better than my eyes. Which is entirely possible.
Yeah, probably.
And again, I'd be traveling forward.
Oh, that's why.
What?
He's 8 weeks old and you're giving him dry kibble.
He's too young.
He's too young. Add a little bit of water to his food. Soften it up before he gets it. Freeze-dried chicken? An Aussie Doodle. Australian Shepherd or Australian Cattle Dog Poodle Cross? Probably Australian Shepherd.
Probably.
I can't see a standard poodle in a cattle dog doing it. I love the land sharks.
Land sharks, yeah.
Oh, that's right too. Julie Crosby's got she's got a Mal.
Yes, she does.
Oh, and a working Mal too. That's good for her.
So our Miss Dot is lounging upstairs.
No, lounging in the garage watching
Oh, she's
Dad.
in the garage.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's with Dad, obviously.
Sheila, you deserve some downtime.
Sheila, I think they've kept Sheila rather busy.
Yeah. But yeah, 8 weeks old. Yeah, just add a little bit of water. Australian Shepherd and Poodle. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because he's in the process of starting to teeth. So
Little Tyke is going to have...
Yeah. Cheapest puppy toy on the market for a teething puppy, ice cubes. You can make a lot of them, and they don't cost you anything. And they're easy to clean up.
Yeah.
They just turn into a little puddle. Renee, we need to talk. I have a misbehaving Aussie Shepherd and Collie cross. Oh. Well,
Okay.
the fact that you have an Aussie Collie, you have the most neurotic, most energetic, smart dog out there. So give him a job.
Yeah, give him something to do.
Yeah. And when he does that job, reward him. He's not really misbehaving. He just needs something to do.
Yeah. That's the thing. Intelligent dogs, especially dogs with a high energy, they need to be kept occupied. We had border collies when I was growing up. We had 5 of them at once. And they need to be kept busy because their brains are busy and their bodies need to follow suit. So
Fairy, not funny. It is hilarious. Because I've worked with collies and shepherds.
yeah. And we have Miss Dot upstairs who is adapting really well to her wheels.
Yeah.
And now you take her out for a walk, she has to stop and chat with everybody in the neighborhood, which just cracks me up.
Yeah. She has to say hi to
Everybody. Yeah. Hi.
He is, but he barks so much. That's you can get that to go away, but it's shepherds.
Yeah. Shepherds bark at stuff.
And collies.
Yeah.
They bark. They're meant for herding. And that's how they communicate with other animals, is barking. It's not something you can, but it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
5 border collies? Ha!
Yeah, we had 5 all at once.
Renee will have to start traveling to train puppies. Want to work with Ranger?
So, I've base coated this rose. I don't know if you can see that clearly on the screen. I hope so. That I only painted up to the line. So I have that little tiny gap between each segment of the flowers. And hopefully it's clear enough that you guys can see it. So now we can start shading. And we can start, I just realized something. This is not quite opaque enough right here. Another quick coat. Otherwise, I'm just going to be working too hard.
Yeah. So getting your dog to stop barking while you're trying to get him to do something, it just means he's really excited about the reward.
Yeah.
What you have to do is basically get him into a calm state and reward the calm state. So when he's sleeping,
Yeah.
kind of, or if he's just laying down. Just if he's laying down and he's being calm, give him heavier rewards, and he'll realize, like, hey, if I'm calm,
Yeah.
I get stuff.
I get stuff.
I get a treat, or I'll get a toy, or I get pets.
Yeah.
Rewarding a calm state will, in turn, create a calm dog.
Yeah. We see that in Dot.
She's very calm.
She's so mellow. Unless Dad's been away for the day. Then she's not so mellow when he comes home, because then she's highly excited about the fact that he's home. But she likes to make sure all her humans are where they're supposed to be by the end of the day.
My mini Aussie communicates with me all the time and even tries to talk to me. He wants something.
Yep.
He's trying to get you to either play, go for a walk. He's trying to get something out of you. Play, walk, pets, treat.
So we're going to start shading this rose. And if you look into these little corners here, this little spot deep inside, I'm going to float that with a little bit of that primary magenta or Tuscan red. All these little deep corners, these little deep areas like that, they're all getting that treatment, that little float of Tuscan red. And I'm going to weaken this just a little because I'm finding the colors a little strong. And this is where you start floating and separating all of those petals. And I will say it, I say it all the time, I know. I sound like a broken record, but neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs.
My neighbor shakes the treat box to get her dog to stop barking and come in. It's not advisable because he's reacting to the sound of the treat box and the reward.
Yeah.
And I will agree, it's the wrong message you want to send to your dog. You want the dog to respond to your voice and the sounds you're making,
Yeah.
not the sound of the treat box.
So I'm just floating around everything with that primary magenta or Tuscan red.
Just like kids. She's not wrong.
No, she's not. For you, it was the dinner bell.
That's right, too. I remember the dinner bell.
Yeah. Stand there and holler for him to come in, but nope. Ring the dinner bell, and he was on his way. We got the bell because I got tired of hollering for you guys all the time.
She usually wants loving or food. Yeah?
Yep.
Sometimes that's all a dog wants is, hey, pay attention to me.
Yep.
Or feed me.
Or feed me. So I'm just shading in and around all of those petals, separating everything.
To weaken the float, are you using the glaze?
You can use either the glaze or the water. Either one will work.
I'm sure the dinner bell would still work for Renee.
Oh, we still have the dinner bell. It's in the kitchen.
Clicker training is becoming more popular now. It's an industry standard. It always has been. Because it works on a variety of animals. It works on horses. It works on seals.
Yeah.
I've heard it work on dolphins. But I'm not familiar with dolphins.
I hope not.
I call them murder fish.
Murder fish.
Because
So-
apparently they'll go out in packs just to go kill something, but never eat it.
Orchids. Do
Orchids do the same thing.
that. Yeah.
So they're murder fish. Same with piranha. Piranha.
So I've got all my shading in place on this. And it's rough. I'm okay with that. I'm going to pick up a little bit of glaze and I'm going to double load my angle. I'm going to take my base color on the heel of the brush and I'm going to pick up a little bit of warm white on the toe of the brush. And I'm going to blend it back and forth so that I get a nice transition between those two colors. And this is what we're going to highlight with. So I'm going to come to the edge of my petals and I'm going to float. And what that does is it gives me a nice soft transition from one color to the next. I hear a lawnmower. Is that your father?
Yeah, he's playing with his new lawnmower.
Okay. So this is an easy way to get that transition. If you're ever struggling with a float on something, or you can't get that transition to be smooth enough, try double loading your brush with your base color and your highlight color. So I just put that highlight, just like so.
Dinner bell equals Pavlov. Yes.
Yep, Pavlov's dogs, man.
Yep. It does have a Pavlovian effect.
Yep.
Yep.
I learned something yesterday. It's totally off topic, but it kind of surprised me, given the amount of study that I've done over the years about color theory and all of these things. I learned something really interesting the other day. And I think that if anybody can guess this, they'll get a prize. So here's the question.
Okay.
And you're not allowed to Google it.
No Google.
No Googling. Who invented the color wheel? The answer will surprise you.
Who invented the color?
Who invented the color wheel? So no Googling. Be interesting to see if anybody gets this. Because I was surprised when I heard this. I mean, from the time we first started in art school, even in high school, we were taught color theory. So I was rather surprised to learn the answer to this. So I'll be impressed if somebody knows it offhand. I'm going to give you about another minute, and then I'll tell you because you'll be surprised. I was. No, not Da Vinci, Subron. I was surprised. It was. It's very interesting, and it made perfect sense.
Isaac Newton?
Isaac Newton. That is correct. Molly Ann
Really?
Stocks got it right. Yes. Yep, Sir Isaac Newton. So
Newton.
Molly Ann Stocks is getting a fugly brush. I thought that was just a phenomenal piece of information. It rather surprised me when I read it. I was putting together some information for the membership group, and I came across that, and it rather surprised me. But it makes perfect sense. So, because it was more the study of light and how light travels and how it's affected, that he came up with the color wheel. I just thought it was brilliant.
Huh.
Woo! I almost made a major boo-boo. I picked up white and then picked up the wrong color on the heel.
Our 7-year-old Doxy barks more and more the older she gets. She might have ear problems.
Oh, hearing problems.
She might have hearing problems. She might be going deaf. She can't hear herself.
Yeah. So you'll notice that when I'm painting this rose, I'm really not worrying too much about the accuracy. I'm not worrying about whether or not these edges are crisp and clean, and you're about to find out why. Because I'm going to use a little bit of asphaltum to darken a couple of spots, because I like asphaltum for this. I'm going to just mostly on the inside of this flower.
Louise Long. Great. Now we have to know trivia to win prizes. I'm sunk.
No, that one was just, it came to me the other day that would make a great question to ask during one of these things. And I just thought it was such an interesting tidbit, you know? So, Molly Ann Stocks,
I would have never picked Isaac Newton.
stick a note on that one that it's going to Molly Ann.
Molly Ann.
I just thought it was an interesting piece of information. So, and it was a fun way to figure out a prize winner. So the rest of the prizes today are up to Renee.
Oh, Molly Ann Stocks. You also have a set of microns coming to you.
Yeah,
we already sent those, didn't we?
yeah, they did. They all went out this week.
Well, she won prizes from last week.
Cool.
So I still have your information right here.
There you go.
There we go. Put that there.
So there, I just took a little bit of thinned asphaltum and I deepened some of these shadows in a few places. I just realized I whoopsied. Right here, there's supposed to be a little bit of a roundness here, and I whoopsied. So I'm going to put that back in because I missed a spot. There we go. Now, this type of rose is not, we're not looking at perfection here. This is a loose and easy technique for doing these. Now I'm going to thin a little bit of white. You can use titanium white or warm white, whatever you want. It doesn't matter for this part. And then we're going to do some leaves. So this is just a little bit of thinned titanium white. And essentially, I'm just going to, oh goodness, I'm going to put a scribbly line on the edges of my petals. And this does two things. One, it softens this rose a little bit, so it doesn't look so heavily structured. And it makes the rose appear soft. And it'll also hide little flaws. So if you're not real happy with the edges of your floats, it doesn't really matter. That's why I say it doesn't, we're not looking for perfection here. I like this sort of soft, you've seen me do this on leaves where I put that little sort of scribbly line around things. I like this on roses too. I think it just softens things and makes them pretty and delicate looking. And it doesn't have to be neat and tidy. So it's just a soft, scribbly line. It can be on the rose or it can be on the outside the edges of the petals. It doesn't matter.
That is so soft and beautiful.
But it's that it sort of helps keep that delicate look. And if it's not dark enough, go over it again. If you're not thrilled with it.
My
I
feed
like
is
this.
buffering really bad. Just getting question now. If you click on the little cog wheel at the bottom of the YouTube window of the video, I guess, bottom of the video, and you go to quality, you can actually decrease the quality so it catches up.
Yeah.
Which means you don't get a high quality video, but it eases the strain on the internet.
It stops buffering.
It stops buffering and allows you to keep up. But again, you lose some quality.
So we just have some leaves to do for this. I'm using a little bit of antique green. It's my go-to green for leaves. I use it a lot. So there's a nice little green. Nice little green. Oh my goodness. My tang is tangled today. So there is that little bit of antique green on these leaves.
Okay, let's do this.
I like antique green. It's got a high yellow content. And it also has a touch of brown in it. So you get sort of that earthy avocado color, which I rather like.
Actually, I am going to take the filter off because it looks pinkish. Everything looks pink.
Okay, well, it might be because we're using pink. Lots
Yeah,
of it.
but even the yellows were looking quite
gotcha.
pink.
Gotcha.
So, show you guys that the background isn't just like a bunch of pink colors. And there's actually yellows and reds. And
Yeah. So I just put a base coat of that antique green on those leaves. I'm going to dry these real fast. And then I wanted to show you something fun. I mean, I like painting bees, but I wanted to show you something really fun. This is one of the things that I'm working on a project right now. I don't know when it's all going to come together. Probably won't be too long. But it has something to do with bees. But I wanted to show you something really fun. So that if you're not really confident in drawing bees or doing a lot with it, I wanted to show you a really fast and easy way to do this. I'm just going to pop in some green that will let that dry, and then we're going to tackle something fun. This is not a difficult piece to paint. It just, take your time doing it.
ooh, sorry. I may have oversaturated the video for a quick second.
Okay. So I've got, where's my little, so I've got a little block here. Oh my goodness. This is just an acrylic block for stamping. And this is just a fun way to do this, so let's do it. So I'm going to pull out this. This is my little bee stamp. So I'm going to put that on the block like that. Now those clear, they stick to that block really nicely. In fact, they're a little difficult to get off at times. And I'm going to take my stamp pad. I happen to like this little bee.
Looks more washed out to me.
I'm going to erase the one I drew in so it doesn't compete.
Yeah, it's going to flicker a little bit because of the gyro. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm moving things around here. Sorry about that. So I'm going to ink up my stamp like so. And I'm going to stamp it onto the surface like that. A little bit of pressure to make sure it goes on nice and neat. There's a bee. had a new stamp pad. This one's not so juicy.
My tang is tungled.
My tang is tungled. There. So I stamped on a little bees. Just makes this fast and easy, right? I'll dry those real quick. And the fun part is that you can treat this like it's a line drawing. So if I want, I can take my favorite rigger.
Now they're saying the color's washed out. It's actually not washed out. It's just overexposed right now. Give me 1 second. Just means more light's coming in. Let's see if
So I'm going to take a little bit of black and I'm just going to use little strokes
there you go.
like so. And
That should help.
I'm just filling in that bee.
Renee is messing with us.
I am not. It wouldn't surprise me. So every other stripe is getting black. Like so. This is the fun part. Like you can just play with this a little bit. So I'm just filling this in with black. And I can take all of those little details like the legs.
Oh,
Ouch. That didn't sound good.
that was my knee.
Ouch.
Oh. I've been waiting for that to pop for like 2 days. Oh, and now I wish it didn't. Oh, that hurts.
So it's easy just to punch that up a little bit. Now I'm going to take some white and I'm going to just, I want this kind of fuzzy, so it's just little strokes like so. I want these bees to look a little on the fuzzy side, so oops, too much water in the brush. Now we're using, we have wings, so I'm going to put just a wash of white on these wings because I don't want to bury all of that detail. So I'm just using a little bit of thinned white. I don't want it to, don't really want it fully opaque. I want us to be able to see all of those little fun little details on our bee. A little bit of white. Things you can do with stamps. I love stamps. And again, I'm just using a little bit of thinned white. Throw a little water, some glaze into it. I just take it right to the line. You can leave a little bit of it showing if you want to, or you can paint right over it. That's entirely up to you. Easy peasy. Fuzzy butt bumblebees. Now, we need a highlight for these eyes up here, so little dots of white, comme ça. I'm going to dry these real quick. And then we're going to put a little bit of yellow into that. I'm using that diarrhea because it's my favorite yellow. So wherever I put the white on the body of the bee, I'm just stroking in a little bit of that diarrhea yellow. It is fully transparent, so it's going to be nice and bright orange, or bright yellow, sorry, in there. These are so fun. Now you can come back in with a liner brush if you want to. I want to pull a little bit of blue into those wings. I treat these the same way I would treat them if I was doing them from my own line drawing. So you can use Bahama Blue. Let's use Bahama Blue. I like that color. It just needs a little bit of blue in those wings. And I'm going to blend this out. I don't want it full strength. And towards the body, I'm just going to pull a little float of that Bahama Blue. I keep wanting to push it that way because I'm afraid I'm going out of the shot. So, little float of that Bahama Blue on the wings, close to the body. Don't worry if it gets a little opaque, that's all right. Now I'll rinse out my brush, and we're going to put a little bit of orange on the thorax of those bees. I like a little touch of it. Makes our bee, gives him some heat. So I'm just putting a little float on one side. Doesn't matter which side. Could be either or. And then we're going to grab that. Where's my long liner? I have a really skinny micron liner. There it is. Where it is. There it is. Goodness. So I'm going to take my micron liner. I want to put a little highlight on these bees. I'm going to use a little bit of warm white for that. I want them to look a little on the fluffy side. So opposite. If I put the orange on the right hand side, then that highlight is going to go on the left. And I'm just using little fine strokes to make them look fuzzy.
I don't have the zoom capability I once had. That's one downside. But when she finishes, she can show you exactly what she did.
So that little line, if you have, I just make sure I'm on camera here.
Yeah.
That little line does those little hair-like strokes. We just want these guys to look a little on the fluffy side. So I've thinned out some warm white to stroke those in so that I get that nice fine line. Now I'll dry this.
Zombie bees?
Zombie bees.
Zombies?
Oh no. Am I going to have to paint zombies now? That could happen.
Huh?
It could happen. So then I take my gel pen, because I love my gel pen, and I kind of want a little sketchy line around this. That's the nice part, is that if that stamp isn't perfect.
You're good. You keep going.
Okay.
I'm just trying to prevent it from flickering.
Yeah. So that little bit of that gel pen, you can dress this up, go around the edge of the wings, add some little sketchy details, have some fun with it. So if you wanted to, make them fully opaque. Doesn't matter. I didn't want them. I wanted to be able to see some of this detail in the stamps, but you don't have to. And you can do the same thing around the body of the bee. If you want to add more fluff and fuzz around the bee, you can do that, a little sketchy line. Look how fun. So now we're going to come down and finish out this tag, and we're going to do that with a stamp too. I have some mini alphabet stamps. I love alphabet stamps.
Some of them are wondering where you got the stamp block.
Oh, the little acrylic block. You can get these at Michael's in the stamping section. You can get them at Joann's. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. Any place that sells stamps usually has these acrylic ones. This one is a Recollections, so you can get this at Michael's. But most places that sell stamps are going to have these acrylic blocks. they're handy to have. I have 2 or 3 of them in different sizes. For bigger stamps, I use this one. And
Jeez.
then for the smaller ones, I use this little 3-inch one or 2.5-inch one. It's very handy. So it's the same with these. These little, these are Craft Smart stamps. They usually have these in that dollar section or that bargain section, that row of bins towards the checkout at Michael's. They usually have these. I always have 3 or 4 sets with different fonts. Some are uppercase, some are lowercase. I tend to pick them up whenever I see them because they are really, really handy. So in here, I want the word and because it's honey and lemon. So a D, and an N. So, and these ones are inexpensive. Like, I think these were, a couple of bucks. And they come in really handy. You find yourself using them for all sorts of things. What I love about this is that they don't have to be straight. They don't have to be perfect. I am going to turn this so that it's, which way do I want it? That way. There we go. So I'm going to have it so that my lettering is going up. Or maybe down. I don't know. Let's do it this way. Down.
How many times a day do you have to clean your watch since it's on your right hand?
Oh, daily. I mean, this thing has always got paint on it.
And she's got multiple bands.
And I have different bands. I have one with skulls on it. I know, who knew? I love unique bands. I just wish they were a bit more affordable. The bands for these Apple Watches are horrendous. So, A-N and D. Now, in the pattern, I actually have a little line drawing for the tag. So you can simply just cut it out and decoupage it on if you don't have these little stamp sets. But this is how I do it. I just use these little dollar store alphabet stamps. I've seen these in the dollar store too. So, they're not a horribly expensive or even difficult to find. So, and any font will do. I don't even know what the font is on this one. I think it's just, standard text.
Can you use this gel pen with a brush on varnish?
Yes, but I recommend that you use like a matte spray over top just to set it. Because depending on the varnish, I've had some where it doesn't move at all, and then I've had others where it smears everywhere. So I think a lot of it depends on the varnish. So I've just gotten into the habit of, hitting it with matte spray before I varnish anything. So this is where I just take my little gel pen and I go sketchy around everything because this is how I like things. I like that sort of sketchy look. And this is another reason I tell people is that neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs. Life is too short to be worrying about all of this perfection and living up to somebody else's ideal.
Did you paint the skulls on yourself?
No, I did not actually. I was on Amazon one day looking for a watch strap because I only had this one. And I saw this one covered with little skulls and I had to have it. So that's why.
Oh, I need a name.
Oh, we need a name. Uh-oh, he's hunting for a winner. So this is my thing. This is my jam. I like using this, this black gel pen. I sketch around everything. I just like that. I like the look of it. It just gives everything an interesting look. So now that tag needs, of course, I did this first. I should have done it afterwards, but I need to age this tag a little bit. And I'm just using a little float of asphaltum around the edges in a couple of places. I'm not doing it everywhere.
There.
I just wanted to age it a little bit. So there's my asphaltum. It just gives this a sort of a little more rustic look. So that's that.
But she won't clean her stencils.
No, my stencils are always grimy. Every once in a while I sit down, take all the ones I used that week and clean them, but for the most part, most of the time, this is what they look like. I did sit down the other day and cleaned a whole bunch because it was getting ridiculous, but then I sat down and painted a little bit. They got all dirty again. So I want to use that liner. I need to put a string on my tea bag, my tag.
Miss Debbie Marlowe is a winner of a fugly brush. Debbie Marlowe.
Debbie Marlowe won a fugly brush. Congratulations, Debbie. Debbie, go to the... good Lord, English is the second language. Go to the...
Tracy Moreau.
Tracy Moreau, my gosh, telling you. Go to my website on the front page, on the lower right-hand corner of my website homepage. You will see a little speech bubble. Click on that and send us a quick message with your shipping information, and we will get your fugly brush out to you. My goodness.
Struggled to get that one out.
I told you my tang was tangled. So there is our tag. Now we have to finish off that, the leaves, and we're going to shade those with a little bit of sap green or plantation pine if you have it. Plantation pine is not a perfect substitute, but it's close enough.
So Molly Ann Stocks and Debbie Marlowe are both getting fugly brushes.
Yep.
You got to decorate them.
Yeah, you got to decorate them. So I'm shading these leaves with a float of that plantation pine, or in this case, I'm using sap green. Oof. And apparently I have lost the ability to float. Good gravy.
Y'all good?
No.
Apparently I'm going through puberty.
Really? Well, better
My
late
voice
than never.
just cracked.
So I'm just shading down the center vein and underneath that rose with a float of that plantation pine or that sap green. And I gotta fix that leaf because that's gonna
Drive you nuts?
oh, it'll push me over the edge. Let's try this again.
What is this? Robin Storm is curious about the brain fart thing.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if they're saying congrats to me for hitting puberty or Debbie Marlowe for winning a fugly brush.
I'm hoping that it's Debbie
I think
Marlowe
it's-
for winning a fugly brush.
I think it's this whole internet lag time in between. The timing for the congrats was a little weird.
Oh my god. Okay. So now I have a half decent base coat on this. Maybe I'll get it right this time. Okay. Second time's the charm, gang.
Let's try this again.
Honestly.
I'm pretty sure it's congratulations to Debbie Marlowe for winning a fugly brush.
I would hope so.
Have you been attacked by the bee zombies? The
zombies? Yeah, the zombies.
The zombies. Sheila, both. I think both, Renee. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Okay. So I think this time around I can actually float this. Good Lord.
Can you?
You know,
Some days.
some days, Monday and Tuesday completely lost my mojo. Had nothing. Couldn't think of what to paint, when to paint, how to paint. I was just, you know what, better off just not. That was Monday. Tuesday didn't look a whole lot better.
Wednesday was a write-off.
Wednesday was an absolute write-off. Yesterday wasn't a whole much better either.
Yeah, because what happened on Wednesday?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't remember.
Just, I think it was just a whole bunch of admin on Wednesday that just needed to be dealt with. And
Thursday was boring. For me, anyway.
he worked all day Thursday. Thursday, I got not a whole lot done. I still didn't have my mojo back, although it's feeling a little bit better. But it was ridiculous. I couldn't paint. So I decided, since I couldn't paint, that I was going to clean up the studio.
How'd that work out?
I think it'd have been more effective if I'd just taken a hand grenade through it, but that would have meant like replacing stuff. So
What? I cleaned up the studio. Where?
I know.
That one spot?
Well, I got a box of finished samples came back from Bear With Us. And so I made the mistake of opening that box in which I found my sample, but it was just like Christmas Day. It was awful. Just painted things everywhere. I had no idea that I had that many painted samples at Bear With Us. So I put away 30 finished pieces. And so they were all over the studio. So I'm highlighting the tips of these leaves.
It's nice to know that you professionals have issues too.
Oh my God.
You have no idea.
So I'm using a little bit of matcha green to highlight these leaves. This was a new color last year.
I started cleaning up my studio 3 years ago. I'm guessing it's still not done. Started,
yeah.
yeah. Sounds familiar. Nice to know. Oh yeah, we already read that one.
Oh my God. I mean, there's so many painted pieces in this studio. It is mind-boggling. So I had to clean out a couple of storage bins and rearrange some stuff so that I could put all of this stuff away. And mother of pearl, I had no idea. And to make matters worse is that while I was cleaning up, I found all of the pieces that we have painted in the last year, just doing these lives. So how many videos have we done?
Bear with me here. Yeah, all right. Look at this.
Hey.
There's painted pieces everywhere.
Yeah, so much for the illusion. The only tidy spot in the entire room is right behind me. The rest of it looks like, it's tragic. It is absolutely tragic.
Now I gotta fix this.
Okay. See, you messed it up.
There we go.
Yeah, so ordinarily I can at least see a portion of my desk. I can't see any of it right now.
There's a desk.
There's a desk under that. Yes, I know. So I'm just taking a little bit of thinned titanium white. I'm just highlighting a few of these petals a bit more because they kind of got lost after all of my shading and whatnot. So I'm just going to intensify them a little bit.
I've spent the last week cleaning out and organizing my studio. What a mess I had.
Is that Deb?
No, that was Paula Randall.
Oh.
Cleaning your studio is like when you tell your kids to put away your toys. If you find something that you
You have
haven't
to
seen
stop
in
and
a
play
while,
with it. Yeah.
time to put
Especially
this-
for crafters, because all of a sudden, that's why I think a lot of us clean our studios, because we kind of lose our mojo a little bit, like I did this week.
Can I send you my address if you need to get rid of some? There, Jessica Killeran's got a great idea.
Yep.
Live auction.
A live auction.
So, a couple months ago, we were tossing the idea of doing a charity stream.
Yeah.
and having kind of like a silent auction thing for some of her original pieces. And all that money would go to, what was the?
It was a
It was a service dog.
service dog for autistic and
Vets.
veterans and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sadly, it didn't fall through because communication problems and.
Well, the middle of the pandemic, a lot of these places are literally closed.
Yeah.
So we weren't able to get in touch with them.
Yeah. So it.
It didn't come
We might
to
revisit
pass.
in the future.
So we're thinking of redoing it because I mean, I kid you not. When I say I was putting away finished pieces, I lost count at 50 finished pieces. And in some cases we have a couple of each one.
Yeah, there's a few duplicates.
There's a few duplicates because I've taught it a few times. So, yeah, I have a few finished pieces kicking around.
And a few unfinished pieces.
A lot of unfinished. We all have UFOs. Every single one of us has UFOs.
Is that what that means?
Any painter.
Sounds like my UFOs. Yeah, Judy Thacker. I was wondering what UFO stood for.
Yeah, unfinished objects.
Unfinished up. Oh, I got it now.
Comes the dawn.
Comes the dawn.
So the only thing that we have left to do here is our lettering. So this lettering is super simple. Remember, I went in and we shaded it. I'm just going to do a couple of these so that you guys can see it. And again, I talk about using that steel edge ruler for tracing it on, and this is why. So when I go to paint, I use that rigger, and I open it up until it meets that line, till it fills the space. You cannot paint a straight line if the line you're painting to is not straight.
People do YouTube live auctions all the time. Yes, we understand that, but the communication error was between us and the charity we were trying to work for.
Yeah. The charity that we were working for was offline.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, which was, sad to hear, but unfortunately it happens. So essentially, I just fill in this lettering with warm white.
Light bulb just went off, huh, Renee? Yeah, I now know what UFOs mean. Unfinished
UFOs,
objects.
unfinished objects.
I was thinking unidentified flying objects. The whole Area 51 and
Not quite the
Roswell
same.
and our microphone's gonna die in 3, 2, 1.
Whose microphone?
Both of ours.
Are they?
Yep.
Well, we're almost finished.
Give me 1 second. I think I can save us.
So I've got my lettering base coated with 1 coat of warm white. I'm going to dry this real quick. This one is going to be fast. So
See if this works.
the lettering for this is super simple. It is a base coat of warm white.
Holy crap, that worked. Just put the charging cable into the receiver and it actually is charging.
Good. So again, it comes back to that diarrhea yellow. So I like this at the top. You
We'll use that one. Go ahead.
There, I think we got sound back.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You should be nice and loud because it's the microphone.
Okay, so I'm just using that diarrhea at the top of the letter, and I put in
Decrease your volume.
a couple of floats, so because I want that yellow to be quite dark. And I come about not quite halfway down the letter, and I'm going to dry that. And it doesn't have to be a perfect float. In fact, it looks better if it's not, because we kind of want this to look like, dripping honey and lemon. So dry that. And that's where that little gel pen comes into play again. We're going to go around the lettering like so. And again, this is just slightly sketchy line, and it can be on the white or off. It doesn't matter. And this is just going to help the lettering pop off the surface. And that is as difficult as this piece gets. It's not a hard piece to paint. There's a lot of little things to do, but that's okay. It's just fun. If you want to do the decoupage version of this, it's really simple. All you need to do is just cut out the tags. Give me 2 seconds, I'll find it. I'm going to cut out the tag. It's right in the line drawing. Right there. So all you have to do is cut it out. I'm pretty sure I have a pair of scissors here someplace.
You don't have to worry about your...
Yeah, I don't have to worry about it. It was connected to me. So if you want to do it this way, you just simply cut this out. And I cut right on the outside line, so it leaves that sketchy line in place. And you can age this. It is just paper. I just like this technique, and I wanted to show you how to do it. Because it's not hard to do, but there is a little bit of a curve to it. So there is the tag. What do you know? It's, ta-da, same size as the one you're working over.
Never-ending comedy here. Wow, loud. Yeah, different microphone.
Sorry. Sorry. So I have a spray bomb full of water, my little spritzer, and I'm going to spray my paper.
I don't know which microphone it is, so it could be this one, it could be that one.
Okay. So paper is nice and wet because I sprayed it like so. And I'm going to take a little bit of matte medium. You can use decoupage for this.
Sheila Landry's happy about the little scissors.
The little scissors, yes.
Look,
Those are embroidery scissors.
look at the cute scissors.
So I put just a layer of the matte medium where the tag goes. And then I just lay the paper right into place. And then I just applied a coat of matte medium right over the paper. Like so. So if you don't have the stamps to do that tag, just cut the tag out, decoupage it on. I'm going to dry this really quick, and then we'll age the paper a little bit. I have made one unholy mess here today.
Okay.
Watch it, you. Usually my workspace is not this small, but I've got...
get rid of the Tim Hortons.
Thank you. Got more crap and corruption on my table today. So I'm dry this, close up my medium so I don't spill it, because I spilt it yesterday because I'm gifted that way. Well, that's the fun part. Oh, I know, I haven't had one either. So that's the fun part of this piece, is that if there's elements that you are not confident in doing, like hand painting the bumblebees or what have you, feel free to use a stamp to do that. Now, what was that stamp called? Oh, Honeycomb Wishes is the name of that stamp. That's the one that I used to do this background as well. And that little bee is included in it. So there we go. Our paper is dry. So now we're going to age the paper just a little bit. And I'm going to pick up a little asphaltum on my brush, just a little. And I'm going to age the edges of this tag a little, just like so. I'm just using a weak float of asphaltum. And I'm going to dry that again. And then I'm going to take my gel pen and just accentuate that sketchy line on the outside edge, like so. So I'm going to finish up the lettering later this afternoon, but I think we have covered just about everything, including some fun ways to substitute for those bees. I've done this piece on different surfaces. This is the original right here. This is the one I did the other night. It's even slightly smaller because I printed it wrong. And then I used one of the other line drawings with the teacup, slightly different teacup, and showed you how to do that decoupage instead of the painted version. We're using the stamping and we did a variety of things. This was a really fun and easy project, just a lot of steps to do in the interim, that's all. So I think you'll have a good look. There's still stickers on this. I think you'll have a fun time painting this. You can adapt this. If you don't like the pink for the rose, try using a different color. If you wanted to do it in blue, or even a yellow rose would be really pretty. You could do that. The other nice thing is that if you wanted to, you can blow this puppy up. I've got a giant tag here. I'm going to do this piece on, and I just blew up the line drawing 140% so that it fits. This is a big tag. This one is almost 2 feet long, so it's a good size. And so I'm going to tackle doing that, maybe a little larger, and I think I might try a yellow rose on this one. But it's a fun piece to paint. It is not difficult to do. And I think I've covered just about everything. So this new camera system, I promise you. So we've met a few challenges along the way. We're as new to this as you guys are. So please bear with us. This is a lot of fun to do. These simple honey and lemon. If you want to change out the lettering and put different wording in, by all means, feel free to do so. You can customize this to suit yourself any way you like. I will not be offended. In fact, I encourage it. Jump in and put your own stamp on things. It makes it look great. What else did I want to cover?
Yeah.
So if we picked names for winners,
Yeah.
all of the prizes are going?
Yeah.
We have a stencil set to give away.
What?
I said it right at the very beginning. We have a set of the shape makers to give away.
Okay.
And I have a set of pens to give away.
What?
Yeah, the gel pens. Black and white.
Okay, all I heard was fugly brush. I was busy.
No, you were focused on the fugly brush.
I was focused on the fugly brush because I'm trying to this.
Yeah, he was a little overwhelmed. That's okay. I have a great little set. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get a set of the gel pen, the black gel pen, the Uniball, and you're going to get a Uniball Signo in the opaque white. So somebody's winning a set of those. So we got a shape maker and a set of the Japanese Uniball pens.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm trying to bring the microphone closer to you.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
There. So we got names. Give me a name.
Give you a name?
Give me a name.
Just say a random name.
I
Don't look.
I can't see. That would mean I would have to know who's in there.
No,
And
you
I
don't.
don't.
Just say a random name.
Okay, fine. Linda Sprouse.
Okay. There's one.
Okay, so there's one. Linda, you're gonna get a shape maker
You're gonna get shape makers?
A set of
Alright,
shape
we got
makers.
shape makers for Linda Sprout.
for Linda Sprouse
Okay.
and Kathy Rhine.
What Kathy Wright?
Yeah, Kathy Rhine.
I don't see a Kathy.
Kathy Rhine. Rein. Kathy. Is she still in there?
Kathy Ryan.
Yeah. She says, love it. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
There you are. Kathy Ryan, you've got a set.
There's a white pen?
There's a white pen. Yes. And
White.
yes, they will be coming to my website very soon. The
White.
other thing that we are going to be stocking too is okay, my brain. I can never remember the name of this blessed pen. Identapen. I have Identapens coming too. I don't know why I blank on that one every time. Lights are on, nobody's home. So, Kathy Ryan, you've got a set of
there
pens
she is.
coming to you. Linda Sprouse, you've got a set of the shape makers.
Debbie Marlowe.
Debbie Marlowe and Molly Ann Stocks have both
That's-
got some fugly brushes coming to them.
Yes.
Oh my God, we're batting 1,000 today.
Oh, yeah.
Lights are on, nobody's home.
Technical difficulties and then...
Mental difficulties.
and mental difficulties.
Never mind technical.
You know how many screens I have to look at? I got 1, 2.
He's got 3 screens on the go. All I have to do is sit here and paint. And I struggled with that today. Okay, guys, that is it for us today. Thank you so much for joining me and sticking with us through all this madness today. Appreciate it very much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your bell notification so that you know when we go live and make it easier for you to find us. And what?
We never picked a name for the gnome.
For the gnome. No, we haven't picked a name for the gnome.
That gnome.
Gnome.
Oh, dear.
Yep. Okay. It's not Bob. We have
No?
enough Bobs. We have a marmot in our backyard. His name now is Bob. We have a gingerbread, zombie cookie named Bob. No, the gnome is not going to be called Bob.
Bob.
No.
Paul.
No. He's obsessed with Bob and Paul.
Robert.
Okay, Robert, no. We'll
We
figure
could
it
just
out.
call him Paul.
We'll figure it out.
Cool.
So, okay, guys, thank you again for sticking with us today. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so that you know where to find us and when to find us. And if you're not a member of my paid membership group, keep your eyes peeled. We've got some great stuff coming up. You've got a fall piece for the month of July. I'm still painting it,
Oh,
but you've
somebody
got a
just-
fabulous fall piece for the month of July. All right, guys. Mwah. I love you. Please stay safe, and we'll see you again soon.